And welcome back to the channel and another good game at the World Cup, my friends. Germany left it very late, added time, but their super substitute, Denis Undav, came on and got them 2 goals. And Germany defeating Ivory Coast 2-1, 6 points, top of the group. And the Germans are definitely headed to the knockout stages. But how did this game get off? It was a pretty good start for Ivory Coast. It was a level start. Germany did most of the running in that first segment, but the Ivory Coast, they held their own. They had a plan. They held it together. Their midfield, Sangare, Singo, Keshi, and Chrisinao were pretty good, just holding things stable. They showed very good tactical awareness and discipline, and Germany really didn't get anything going. And it was out of the blue when the Ivory Coast took the lead in minute 30. Yan Diomande, good work down the right, across into Ahmad Diallo, whose shot was blocked on the line by Nathaniel Brown, and Keshi was right there, and he just guided the rebound past Noah in goal, and the Ivorians took the lead. But the Germans did not give up. They did not look crestfallen. They kept coming, and it showed in the way that they played. They weren't able to play the way they played against Curacao. Mencha in particular and Pavlovic, they did not find the spaces that they found against Curacao. Brown from wingback was not able to find those spaces coming down the flank as he did against Curacao. It was a much different game. Germany put out the same side that they used against Curacao, which was not surprising. The Ivorians had a number of changes, but the Germans put out the same side. But the Ivorians played disciplined football, and they were quick. They were quick to the ball. They were quick to the tackle, and they played on the counter pretty well. And that's how their goal came. But the Germans, they were working their way in. They didn't, like you could see that they were not fully comfortable, although they did move the ball around pretty well. But I think the tactical discipline of the Ivorians threw them off some, and the physicality of the Ivorians also threw them off a bit, and the quickness to the ball, the quickness to the spaces, there were not spaces left open for them to play. And so that was how the first half, pretty tactical first half, both teams playing very tactical football. Nobody trying to be too swashbuckling. They just settled down and played good football. It was a good first half, a good game to watch if you're a football fan. And that was how the first half played itself out. The Ivorians started the second half on a much faster pace. They moved it around confidently. They didn't sit back the way they were sitting back in the first half. And midfielder Chris now should have scored after a good link-up play between himself and Ahmad in the 58th, but with space and time, he put his shot over the bar. Ahmad, the Manchester United player, he kept the Germans very busy down that right side. He caused them a lot of problems. He was always open, and he was always ready to run at the defenders. But more often than not, he ran, stopped, put it back inside. Just intelligent football, picking his passes, and Germany had to stay honest. The wing backs had to stay honest, and that was one of the reasons why the wing backs Brown and Kimmich could not push forward the way they had done against Curacao, because you had Ahmad on one side and Yan Diomande on the next side. A lot of pace there, a lot of skill, and they kept those German wing backs very honest. And of course, that Ivorian midfield of Sangare, Singo, Keshi, and Christianao in particular, they were purposeful in the middle of the park. Very purposeful, very compact, and they were at the ball quickly. They got it forward, and Germany had to deal with that for the entire game. Um, didn't leave any space at all for Germany to run in behind them, and you could see that that was a bit of the plan that they came out with. But credit to the Germans, credit to Nagelsmann and his team. They did not change their game plan. They did not get frustrated. They just kept at it. And Nagelsmann rang the changes in minute 60. He took off Sane, he took off Musiala, he took off Pavlovic, and he brought in Undav, Amiri, and Lurlin. And it was Undav who made his presence felt in minute 68. He got on the end of a beautiful cross from Amiri, the two substitutes linking up there, and he got his eighth international goal in his last 8 appearances. The Ivorians, it was the first time on that goal that they lost their man in the box, and Undav made them pay for it. And that was how Germany got level, and they stayed that way. The game kept going back and forth. The Ivorians made their own substitutes in minute 75, and they pulled out Ahmad, they pulled out Sangari, and they pulled out Bonny playing up front, and they brought on Simon Adringa, Fofana, and Gessan. And it was Adringa who should have put the Ivorians ahead in minute 87, and he got a glorious chance coming down the left side. The ball was pulled across to him after good work down the right by Nicolas Pepe, another substitute who was brought on later. And he came down the right, picked out Adringa perfectly, and he should have just taken the shot on one time, but he needed more than one touches, lost the ball. The Germans were able to get it clear, and it was just that little bit of quality that was lacking there. If that was a real class player, that would have been put away, and Adringa just did not have that quality. Only a minute later, the Germans came down the field, and it was Brown who took a shot that goalkeeper Fafana had to get down smartly to keep out. And that was how it progressed. But Undav was the one who called time on this game. It was excellent work from him. Pass came fizzing in from Mannschaft. He took it once. His first touch was brilliant, and he just swiveled and smashed it past Fofana. No chance at all for the Ivorian goalkeeper. And that was Germany 2, Ivory Coast 1 in the third minute of added time, and that pretty much sealed it for the Germans. The Germans had more of possession, as you would expect in a game of this nature. They had 60% possession to the Ivory Coast 40%, 16 shots on goal versus 9 for the Ivorians, 7 shots on target, 2 for the Ivorians. So that is how that one ended. The Germans now sure of a berth in the second round, and they have their final group game against Ecuador coming up. The Ivorians will face Curacao. If the Ivorians put Curacao away, then they will make it through to the second round as well. Ecuador and Curacao, they play later today. Both have no points because of first game defeats, but whoever wins this one will be on 3 points with the Ivorians. Ecuador, if they should win it, will not be in a good position if they settle level on points with the Ivorians after the group games are done, because they lost to the Ivory Coast, and the first measure of determining who goes through to the second round is not goal difference in this World Cup. It is head-to-head. So the Ivorians already own the head-to-head with Ecuador. Germany now owns the head-to-head with the Ivory Coast. So in the event the Ivory Coast and Germany finish on the same number of points, the Germans will top the group. But let's see what happens in the latter game today between Ecuador and Curacao. Ecuador, we are expecting them to pick up all 3 points in that one, but you can never say what will happen in this World Cup. It has been a very good World Cup. It has produced a few surprises, and it has produced some big performances from some small teams, and that is what we want to see in the World Cup. So until next time, we invite you to like the video Subscribe to the channel and keep playing.